my girls just like I like my honey. Sweet, little selfish. I like my women like I like my money. Green, little jealous.
Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Same day as the one that you're about to see. But I think I'm going to post this a day or two. I'm just trying to get like videos done why I feel like it, or like why they're in my head, and so the video I'm going to be doing today is the time I ran away. Basically, yeah, ran away. So I'm going to start by saying it was a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And it was a reason. So let's get to the video. So it was what? It was one day that I told my mother that I wanted to, well, I didn't tell my mother. I told my friend that I was going to go to my father's house because maybe I thought I would like it better. But it was just like my mother and him was on the same page. So it's just like when she told him something, he stick to it. And it's just like, not stick to it, but it's just like he go off of that. And I didn't like that for him because he's a man. He has his own brain. And it was easier for him to say no to me if, let's put it like this, he had to go through my mother for anything that he wanted to do, that I wanted to do, like as far as going outside and stuff like that. So at the age of 17, I believe, I got put out and I went to my father's house. And prior to that, I missed a day of school. That was the best day of my life. I missed a day of school. The first time I ever missed a day of school. But and this was like in high school, the beginning of high school. So I was like 17 and my mother put me out and I wanted to go stay with my father. But prior to that, she called him and was like, whatever you do, don't let her do this, don't let her do that. And it was just like little things that I wanted to do, like far as go outside. I would go to school and everything with no problem. Don't ask nobody for nothing. I would go to school and it'd be like days I'd be like, okay, it's the weekend. I think I want to go outside, or I want to go down the street, or do something, like just go around the corner to my aunt's house, stuff like that. So it was one day, weeks later, I started to like notice that he would like throw stuff in my face, like anything my mother told him, he'll come back and say, oh, you can't do this because your mother said this, your mother said that, but you're a man. That's what I was not understanding. He's a man, and I understand she said don't, but I mean, you gotta have I haven't lived with you for years, or I haven't experienced living with you at all. I haven't, like, this was my first time ever living with my father. So it was just like, it was hard, but it wasn't hard because it was just like, he would let me, but he have to go through my mother for anything that I asked him. So it was just like days that I went to school, I would go to my friend's house, talk to them, this one person's house, and I would be out for a long time. But it was just like, it was about an hour or two. It didn't take me that long to get home because, remind you, my friend lives literally 6 or 7 stops away from where he lived, like from bus route. She lived 6 or 7 stops away from where he lived. So it was just like, it wasn't no problem with me going outside, because it's just like after school, came home, asked him like, okay, so to can I go outside for a few, or can I do this, or can I do that? And it was just like times where he'd be like, let me call your mother and let me ask her and see how she feel about it. And or he'd be like, well, I don't want you down this place, I don't want you down that place. But it was only because what my mother put in his head. So what I did was, a few days later, after he said I couldn't go outside, he was getting to be too strict with me. And remind you, I'm 17, going on 19 that summer coming up. And it was just like he was beginning to be too strict. So it'd be times where I get out of school at 4, or it would be a Wednesday and I get out of school at like 12. So on Wednesdays, I just be like, I text him, be like, okay, hey, is it okay if I go to a friend's house for food or for a while? And he'd be like, let me text your mother, or let me call your mother to see how she feel about this, or your mother don't want you this place, that place. And I'd be like, and I'll text him, be like, but you are my father. You, since I'm living with you, you have a say so about me too. That's how I felt. So that Pacific day, it was on a Wednesday. That Pacific day, I got out at 12. And remind you, usually I don't get out until 4. So I got out at 12. I got out of school at 12. Okay, I'm back. So I stopped off where like I got out of school at 12 and I stayed outside until like 3:30. I got home at 3:30. I got home at 4. And it was just like he started being controlling, like, where have you been, why you wasn't here at this time, this, that, and third. But I told him, I said, I text you and I told you where I was going to be at and stuff like that. So he like, I was texting your phone the whole time and you didn't answer me. But it was just like he wasn't texting me, and it just seemed like he was just like saying little stuff just to get under my skin. So that night I packed up all my stuff, and when I did that, he called my mother and was like, you want me to, if she trying to leave, she trying to leave. So it was just like, what I did was, he said, she trying to leave, she trying to leave. So she must have told him on the phone, okay, don't let her leave, I'm on my way. So that was the day I really didn't bang the shit out of my father. That's the day I really banged his ass. So I started packing my bags, and so I started packing my bags. I got everything packed up, and I left out the house. Well, he was trying to stop me from getting out the house. I pushed him. He said, don't push me again. I'm your father, such and such. And I said, so what? So I pushed him again. He said, push me again. I'm going to fuck you up. He said, push me again. Push me again. I'm going to F you up. So I told him, like, whatever, I don't give a hell, and you don't have to be my father. And so so that's the day I banged him in his face, and he let me go. He said, I'm not fighting with you, you my daughter. So he let me go, and I got my stuff. I left out the house. Remind you, my aunt lived around the corner, literally around the corner. When I say around the corner, he was at the end of the block and she was at the top of the block. But she lived in the complex where it was like you gotta go through this little part of the woods just to get to our house. But it was fine. It was dark outside. But so when I finally got out of the house, I was walking down the street, but I had a whole bunch of bags. And I was walking down the street, I had a whole bunch of bags, and so a man that was sitting right there, he was watching me, but I was crying. All I could do was cry because it's just like he haven't even gave me a chance to like he haven't gave me a chance to like show him that he can trust me and stuff like that with going outside and stuff like that. But it's just like, how can you act off of something somebody else told you? Maybe she just like you didn't give me a chance to show you who I really was, or how I really act when I go outside, or if I can handle going outside and coming in the house when you ask me to, or coming in the house when you tell me to. So um I left his house. I was walking, and I was walking to I was walking to towards my aunt's house, and this man stopped me. It was like I was crying. So the man stopped me. He was like, "Are you okay?" I said, "No. It's this man chasing me." But the whole time it was my father. I'm like, "It's this man chasing me, and he trying to do something to me. I don't know what happened, but he trying to drug me." So, so the man put me in his car. Well, I got in the man's car, and he took me to my aunt's house. So, remind you, my mother knows where my aunt lives because that's our sister. So my mother calls my aunt before I get there. But remind you, I already called my aunt and told her like, okay, I'm coming to your house. If my mother come there, don't let it in. This and the third. So my mother called my aunt. It was like, don't let her in your house because she belongs at her father's house, or she gonna come back to my house. So when when she told me that then my aunt texted me, was like, what's going on? Stuff like that. So I told her, it was like, so they not trying to let me go outside, and it's just like I'm too old to keep on trying to be stuck in this house and stuff like that. So, and I'm just like, she like, okay, just come around here. I won't let her know that you here. So, remind you, the people upstairs at her apartment building, she know them. So, my mother said she was coming around there to check our house because she didn't want her to let me in. But I went upstairs, and the people I took all my stuff upstairs, and I took all my stuff upstairs into the apartment the people that she knew, and I sat up there for about 3 hours. 3 hours. Remind you, my friend, she was downstairs. She was already at my aunt's house, and she was texting me like, "Your mother didn't come here. Your mother didn't come here." Or my cousin would text me like, "I'm like, did my mother come? Did my mother come?" And I was like, she don't know my number, so she wouldn't text me. She wouldn't call me. So then, she wouldn't text me. She wouldn't call me. So then it was like she didn't come to her house. So them 3 hours went by. I went downstairs in her house, and I was telling her what happened and stuff. So she was like, it's crazy because your father don't give you a chance to like give you no time to like him to experience anything. Like, my father hasn't been in my life for all my life, and it's just like the time that she sent me with him, he went off of what she said. So he didn't give me time to like express myself or show him who I really am, and it's just like anything she told him, like, she don't do this or she don't do that. It was just like my mother, the first thing, anytime she told any of her kids to do stuff and the other kids didn't get up to do it, I got up to do it. It was just like I didn't disobey anything that she said. I just would do it because it was just like times where she asked me to do stuff, and it was just, she asked them to do stuff and they won't do it. So I just get up and do it. So then it was just like, so I ran away. Wait. So then it was just like, it's just, he didn't give me enough time to show him who I really was and how I really, like, I can obey everything that you say as long as, like, you give me some space. I needed space, and that's what I wanted. So it's just like, when I left my aunt's house, when I left his house, I went to my aunt's house. I stayed there for a couple of days, and yeah, I stayed there, but it was just like, it got to the point where it was just like I needed more space. I needed space to myself, or it was just like, it was a lot. So I just ran away, and he called my mother, told her that I left. He didn't know where I went. Nobody knew where I went but her, my aunt, and that's it.